This is going to be a fairly quick meeting unless someone has some new topics that they'd like to bring up or something they want to discuss in more detail. I apologize in advance. I have some sort of a head cold or something coming on, so I'm a little sniffly tonight as well. Okay, I think we have everybody. Good evening, everyone. This is the monthly meeting of the East Norwalk Neighborhood Association. I'm Diane Cece. Today's date is November 18, 2024. This is being recorded and we're calling the meeting to order. Just a quick update on a few items that are coming up this week. And some of these I haven't even had a chance to review yet, but all of the documentation for the items that I'm going to mention here are on the city website, and you can take a look at those between tonight and tomorrow. There are 2 public hearings, and then there's a couple of other meetings that you may want to observe, and then also follow along as they progress as well. There's a public hearing on a tree removal here in East Norwalk over on Old Saugatuck Road, which is on public property. Another public hearing that's being held by the Ordinance Committee of the Common Council regarding updates to the existing blight ordinance. A reminder that charter revision is underway again, and they meet again tomorrow night at 6:30. You'll see some of these meetings actually overlap, so unless you can clone yourself, it's hard to kind of hop around on those. But you can always watch the recordings of these meetings afterwards when they get posted on the city's YouTube site. And then also on Wednesday night, there's the Planning and Zoning Commission, and they have a review of an East Norwalk application here on Raymond Terrace. We don't have any guest speakers tonight. We were hoping to have some folks from the city from Transportation, Mobility, and Parking, and also Public Works. They were unable to make it on short notice, and it looks like they have some conflicts for December as well. But we're anxious to get these folks in, so we're going to see if they can join us in in January. And in December, we're going to look to see if we can get some of the folks here to come in from the state DOT regarding some other projects that are going on that they can update us on. And then just under current business, we're still on our watch list is the East Avenue project and the East Norwalk train station improvement projects. And we have started another inquiry into work that's being done on I-95, in particular improvements that are being done to the roadways where the actual improvements seem to differ between what's being done in Norwalk versus what's being done in Greenwich. So we're working on that now. And then next month, we're going to be looking to talk about what you folks think the priority project list should be for ENNA in 2025. And we'll also be having a discussion about whether we go back to modifying our public meeting schedule to be less frequently than every month. Okay, so I'm just going to fly through these and then we can open up mics for any questions. We'd like people to be aware when the city is planning on taking down any trees that are on public property. Typically what happens by ordinance is the city has to label those trees so that the public is aware that they are intending to remove the tree. But in addition to that, now it looks like they'll actually be posting these on the city website. So there is a tree that's scheduled to be removed on the city portion of the property at 48 Old Saugatuck Road. I took a look at that on the maps online on Google. I'm not sure which tree they're talking about, but if anyone lives in that area or you're particularly concerned with trees and tree removal, you can reach out to the tree warden, Chris Torrey, the city of Norwalk. You can email him or give a call over there and get some more information. When they posted this item for public hearing tomorrow on the city website, they didn't post any other information except this notice. So there's no link that I can give you to get some more information on this one. Okay, and then tomorrow, with the city's ordinance committee, they have two public hearings. One is on their continued updates of blight prevention. It looks like they've made some corrections in there, basically to terminology that was a little bit confusing. So they're continuing to clean that up. But it also looks as if they've added in some more definitions and information regarding their ability to enforce blight for commercial properties. Some of you may remember going back some time ago that basically the only authority the city had was for residential properties in terms of blight control and enforcement. And in recent years, residents have been able to work with the city to beef up the commercial side of this. There's some items that are in the document that you can see on the agenda. They've actually posted the changes on the agenda, so you can read those separately. And then if you're inclined, you can either provide public feedback via email tomorrow to the ordinance committee. I believe you have to have email communication in by 12 noon for it to be included in the minutes. And otherwise, you can hop on and you can speak to the item as well. If I get a chance later tonight or tomorrow, I'll take a look at what some of those red line changes are and see if I can get some information out to you. But they look pretty straightforward. And again, we encourage people to kind of educate yourself on these types of documents and meetings and hearings and participate to the level that you're interested. And then they're also have a public hearing on some changes they're making. They're recommending for the Department of Operations and Public Works. Those changes are also posted online with this agenda. So if you go online to this agenda and you scroll down, you can read what all those changes are. I did notice one thing, and I'll verify this, but it does look like they're making a change now where the chief of the Department of Operations and Public Works may no longer need to be a licensed engineer in the state of Connecticut. I believe that was always a requirement, and it seems like that may be one of the changes that's in there. So I'm not sure what is causing them to take a look at that. And I haven't had a chance to take a look at the other items in there. The ones that I did see are mostly cleanup on the language that's actually in that section of the ordinance. Okay, and then also this week, tomorrow night at 6:30, right in the middle of those other two meetings, as we mentioned last month, the Charter Revision Commission has reformed again this year to take another bite at the apple, to continue to take a look at the city's charter, which is how our government is, the form of government we have, how our government is managed, and how the community, how the city is actually run. And so the Charter Revision Commission has been seated. They've already had one or two meetings. They are soliciting public feedback at every step of this process, which I think is going to be the next 6 to 12 months or 6 to 11 months. And we urge people to read, watch these meetings afterward, then read the minutes, and whenever possible to hop on and actually observe the Charter Revision Commission in action, especially if you have any suggestions for how the operation of the city can be improved in terms of, governance and city departments and ordinances, etc. And then for the item that's on the plan, there's a number of items actually on the Planning and Zoning Commission, but the one that's within East Norwalk is a site plan review application. It's at 3 Raymond Terrace, which, if you're not familiar, that's off of East Avenue, pretty much directly across from Rite Aid Pharmacy. This is a review to review and possibly take action to approve on a detached accessory dwelling unit within an existing garage. And some of you may recall that during the zoning regulation updates that were recently done over the past couple of years, the city expanded the opportunity for private property owners to create additional housing by creating accessory dwelling units, either attached or detached. This is or it says detached within an existing garage. So I'm assuming the existing garage is detached. The important thing here is that if you're interested in this application and you want to take a look, the actual plans and all the documents associated with this are on the Planning and Zoning website under pending applications. But one of the things that you should be familiar with now is the difference between a special permit and a site plan review. This particular application, these now fall under what's called site plan reviews, which mean that should this application meet with all the technical requirements of the existing zoning regulation, that for all intent and purposes, the Planning and Zoning Commission must approve the application. There aren't any statutory portions of the state's guidelines that allow them to deny an application that technically complies with the regulations. The difference here would be if these were special permits, in which case the commission would be bound to review 13 special conditions that fall under making sure that they're reviewing the impact on the quality of life of the neighborhood and other such items. Special permits also require public hearings. So because this is now designated as site plan review, there will be no public hearing, and the commission doesn't do any further review of any circumstances surrounding this in terms of impact on the community. Again, if it meets with the technical requirements of the zoning regulation, then they are bound to approve the application. Okay, so I see, and I think that's all we had up here for now. We'll just go ahead and let me do a stop share here. Hang on one second. Okay, there we go. I see. And I'm sorry again, I'm flying through this. I'm hoping it's a short meeting, but I just want to say, let me just add to that, of course we will, I'm able to stay on as long as people have topics or questions or concerns or anything new that they want to discuss. So I see Lisa Roger. Hi, Lisa, you have your hand up.
Yes, I just want. I just wanted to add a little bit on the tree on Old Saugatuck Road.
Great, thanks.
It is apparently the 7th largest. It's a bitternut hickory tree, and it's the 7th largest circumference size, measuring 4 feet 6 inches. And they estimate this tree to be has been around since 1708. So they're asking that something else be done to not remove the tree. And East Norwalk has the lowest percentage of tree canopy in all but one other area of Norwalk. So they're asking if the city would consider installing reflective lights and adjusting curb outwards to this area. So they're looking to essentially save the tree.
Lisa, thanks so much for that, because I hadn't observed their meeting. So do you happen to know then why they're looking to take this tree down then? Is it a sightline issue? And when you say they're looking to try to save it or do something else, are you talking about the city or are the residents in that area?
Residents.
The residents, okay.
Yeah, this would be residents. And I can forward you the email that I received on this.
Thanks. That would be helpful. And is the issue with sightline, or that the tree is no longer healthy, or?
Most likely sightline, because they were recommending maybe reflectors can be installed on the tree. But I don't know. I haven't seen the tree myself or know where it is, but I just got an email on it today.
Okay. If you can forward that to me, if it's not too much trouble, I'd appreciate it. and I'll see if I can reach out to Chris and in the morning to get some more information on that. I share that concern as well in terms of the tree canopy here. The city has been, trying to step up and also in conjunction with our third taxing district commission as well, to try to get some more trees planted over here. And I think I just saw a press release from the city recently that there's going to be an influx of money to significantly go back to trying to increase the tree canopy in Norwalk. We find it kind of ironic because we managed to have self-designated tree city USA designation every year, despite Norwalk's kind of a abysmal record on managing trees. So
your email address, Diane?
Yep, info like information, info at eastnorwalk.org.
Thanks.
Okay, and again, I'm without a co-pilot, so I'm looking for hands to be up here. I don't see any hands, but if someone has a question on any of the meetings this week or any kind of like our open topic item or something new that you think should be on our watch list, or if you want me to elaborate on any of the items that I spoke about from the agenda, I'm happy to do that. And if you came onto the meeting, for a particular reason or a topic, or I think I see a couple of names that may be new here as well. So if you're joining us for the first time at our meetings, let me say welcome, and also that you can communicate with us at that same email, info@eastnorwalk.org, and follow us to the extent that we try to keep social media updated. And one of our priorities actually in 2025 is to try to get back to getting some volunteers who can help us to keep our website updated in a timely manner as well. We find that that's the best place to try to get, like a repository of information that we can refer people back to for, items that we're dealing with at the moment. But we do need some help with that. By the way, I'll take this opportunity again to say that we've heard from a couple of people that are interested in volunteering. What we really need most is what we continue to ask for is people who can keep an eye on the city agendas for us each week. You can pick one or more committees or commissions or agencies that you have a particular interest in or concern with. And it is super simple. It's as simple as on the weekends, generally Friday through Sundays, going into the city website, reviewing the posted agendas for the upcoming week, and alerting ENNA to anything that you think might be a topic that we are interested in, either in pursuing and getting more information on, or something that's going to impact East Norwalk proper that you see coming up on an agenda. It's also helpful because there are so many meetings going on at once, and none of us can clone ourselves. If we could have volunteers that, in your leisure time, can review the YouTube videos of city meetings, and also just kind of, if you see any red flags there of anything that you think our community really needs to be aware of, especially something that may be slipping under the radar screen, as we say. That's also helpful as well. Okay, and I think Lisa and Dave, is your hand back up or just didn't put it back down yet?
No, I put it back up. Just two things. I'm not sure if people know what that project is going on down at Vets Park. It is Eversource pulling under the harbor. They're pulling conduit, this very thick, maybe foot in diameter, very thick rubber conduit, and they are basically grabbing it from the driveway of Vets Park and pulling it under the harbor to the Elizabeth Street side of the harbor. So they're basically grabbing it and yanking it under the water. And it looks like they've pulled maybe 4 of the tubes now, and there's only 1 tube left. So hopefully that activity is going to be ending shortly. And then the other is just a question. In my recent passing by the former Jimmy's Deli, it looks like it's gone dormant. Is there any knowledge of what's going on there?
Yep, good question. So that's a good term there too, David. Has gone dormant. They have periodically had meetings with the city planning and zoning staff in terms of coming up with a development plan for apartments there that would be filed under the, I'll say EVTZ just to shorten it, but most of you are familiar with this, the East Avenue Village Transit Zone, which is the one that allowed for greater height and density in terms of residential development here. The city has done some reviews with the applicant's architect and had a number of issues with what they were proposing to do. And they have kind of gone back and forth and sent it back to the drawing board. I can tell you that Brian Baker, who's the primary review person over at Planning Zoning, you guys have all met him on here before. He reports into Steve Kleppen. He's in charge of this particular application, and he is, obviously he's aware of the neighborhood concern with what type of development can go there, both the footprint and the number of units, but also concerned that they seem to not be coming back with something that that seemed that the would meet with the guidelines. Brian Baker has also assured me that he has repeatedly told the applicant and their architect, that it would be in their best interest to reach out to ENNA before they actually formally file an application. And while there is nothing in our city code, and we hope to change this, by the way, especially in charter revision, but while there's nothing in the city code now that requires an applicant to do this, Brian Baker has told me that he has strongly urged them to do this prior to filing the application. That's important because it gives us an opportunity to try to have an amicable discussion with the applicant over what we think would work or not work there. We can collaborate with them on making modifications that we think make better sense for the community. As most of you now know from being involved for a number of years, once the application is actually filed and accepted by the city and date stamped, it sets off a series of steps that statutorily must happen within a certain time frame. When that happens, it almost essentially blocks the community and the neighborhood associations from really having any meaningful dialogue with the property owners. So again, and I'm hopeful that they heed Brian's advice to do this. But I can tell you, as of today, they have not reached out to ENNA. We do have some neighbors over there. They're kind of watchdogs for that property. And as of today, they have not reached out to them directly either. But thanks for that, Dave. And then you guys are already aware of the other watch list items that we're watching in terms of East Avenue, St. Thomas Church School, Penny's Diner, the Rite Aid property, although a Rite Aid corporate has now pulled out of their reorganization filing. And so we're not sure what the status of that parcel will be. But there could be, zoning has continued now to modify some of their most recent regulations to kind of tighten things up and clarify things that were confusing. We expect that probably within the next couple of months, there'll be some more applications coming in. We are also continuing to watch the development of Cemetery Street. We are want people to be aware of that. Of course, we were aware of where these structures were going to end up on that parcel in relationship to the sidewalk and Cemetery Street. And because of the new setbacks that are in these regulations and the setbacks that were in the regulation when they applied for it. But we have heard that there are a number of residents in East Norwalk that were surprised to see just how close this is to the street. And this is why it's important to attend our meetings and to ask questions and to understand what it is that we're looking at when we look at these plans, because this is where we've asked for formal measurements to be taken. But at this juncture, I have to suspect that where those structures are located there along Cemetery actually fall within the guidelines for the setbacks. So now we can begin to see just kind of how much of a behemoth structure this is going to end up being. We've also engaged with someone that is taking a series of photos for us and video so that we can monitor the progress and track kind of from almost the empty lot point of view all the way through the development. And we'll get that in some sort of format that we can share with people. In the meantime, we've asked the city, the building department and the planning and zoning departments to step up their act to make sure that they're on top of everything that's going on with that development, and that the developers are adhering to both the zoning regulations and the building codes as well. Scott, hi, how are you? I see your hand up. I think you're on mute.
Okay, now I got it. I just wanted to brag, I guess. I just wanted to mention that my grandfather, Charles Kuhner, was district commissioner of East Norwalk in 1917. But unfortunately, he died of the flu epidemic in 1918. So I actually never knew him, but I was very close with my grandmother and the rest of the family. But anyway, little brag.
Well, that's a great little tidbit there. Thank you so much. So that history goes back a long way. And then so that would be after, because our charter is, I think, is it 1913? I always get those dates confused. The charter that actually established the city and the districts.
Well, he was the district commissioner in 1917.
1917. And so then in 1917 there wasn't any correlation at that time then between East Norwalk and South Norwalk, correct? Over the river.
No, he was district commissioner of East Norwalk. That's all I
remember. Yeah, that is super interesting. Thank you, Scott. Yep. That'd be great to look up some more details on what those folks may have been concerned with back then. I have a feeling some of it may not be all that different than what we're concerned with today as well. Well,
and it was too bad that the flu epidemic in 1918 is what took them down.
Yeah, that is a shame. Yep. That is a shame. Okay. And again, I'm sorry, I think I'm without a co-pilot tonight. I think I see, and I don't want to call anyone out here because I don't like to do that, but I may see one or two people from across I-95, which is our good friends and kind of sister neighborhood over there for City Hall area. If that is you and you want to hop on with anything regarding I-95 or East Avenue, feel free to do that. And then I also see possibly one of our friends of ENNA, one of the attorneys, if you want to hop on for any update as well. And then I do see another hand up here too. I don't know I don't think Donna has her hand up, or Lisa, do you have your hand up?
Yes, I do.
Yep. Hi.
Hi.
And then
okay.
Or Donna first and then Lisa?
Sure.
Okay, that's fine. I'll be quick, and I do have to jump off. I just wanted to, we've spoken several times, Diane. I'm the
Mhm.
East Norwalk, the Republican Town Committee Chair for East Norwalk
Mhm.
for District C, not
Right.
just East Norwalk, but all of District C. So we have
Right.
our meetings the third Mondays as well. So I just
Right.
wanted to jump
Yeah.
on and say hi and try to participate between myself and my vice chair. We're going to try to participate each week, each month with you guys. So if anyone
Yeah.
has questions, feel free to reach out to me.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And then as a
Okay.
reminder for everyone, we do record these meetings, and our tech volunteer generally gets these posted by the end of the no later than the end of the week on our YouTube channel for East Norwalk Neighborhood Association. So I appreciate that.
Wonderful.
Thanks so much. Thanks, Tony.
All right. Thank you. I've got to
Have a
jump
good
off.
night. Have a good
Thanks, you
meeting.
too.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Thanks, Lisa. Go ahead.
And I don't know if 153 East Avenue is part of East Norwalk Neighborhood Association.
153 is across the highway, so that's actually with City Hall. 153, I think, is within City Hall Neighborhood Association or Norwalk Green Association.
Okay, because I just saw something in the paper that they're going to be reusing the 153 East Avenue, which is those medical office space, and turning them into 18 apartments, and that was
Yes.
approved.
Exactly. So that's and thanks for that, Lisa. So that is at the corner of Eversley, and it's the brick building there that housed the doctor's appointments that had the double rear entrances and the parking in the back. And so I won't speak to that. Does fall into the City Hall Neighborhood Association area. I won't speak for them on this, but it seems because of the location, the availability of parking, the fact that it's close to the highway, and on a bus transit line, and all those good things, that may be a good opportunity for some housing there. I did not follow that, but I did know that they had a number of items they discussed on that. I think it imposed some specific conditions, but that was approved. Thanks for that. That sounds like it may be good adaptable reuse of something that wasn't being fully utilized. In general, we support that that buildings be considered when they're being built, that for future adaptable reuse, and that some of the buildings that in the city that are now underutilized be considered for other uses such as housing rather than just always constructing brand new developments as well.
They're supposedly going to be making and turning non-pervious land into more trees and shrubs.
Yeah,
and like that too.
The front of it, if it actually ends up looking like the rendition, and funny we mentioned that because people need to keep in mind these renditions are just what they are. They're conceptual renditions that someone is drawing. They tend to draw them to be in the most favorable light for them. But I have to say, if that rendition comes out looking like what it'll look like fronting East Avenue, with the seating areas and the greenery there, it'll be, very nice. I'm not sure how eager people would be to sit out front there with the, if you walk along there, the car exhaust can kill you on East Avenue, but that you're right, at least that asphalt will be coming out of there. Folks can take a look at those renditions and diagrams online, and I think that would be good. And I also think too, Lisa, they mentioned in the rear of the building, they'll cut over from having two entrances now going in, and they'll consolidate that into one. I'm not sure what benefit that gave them in terms of. I'm not really sure why they were doing that. I just think it may have been something, to lay out just so that they have a common area coming into what the new apartments would be for deliveries and things. But do you happen to know why they were looking to do that? Or was it just to maybe from the parking?
News to me. And two of those 18 units are going to be affordable
Right.
housing as well.
Yeah, which meets the criteria. It's always nice if they could be more, but
Sure.
at least that'll meet the minimum. And the reminder there, we're just affordable in Norwalk is generally technically workforce housing. I mean, so that meets a different criteria than it does for what many of us would deem as affordable. But nonetheless, that's what the statute, that's what the criteria is in zoning, and they do have to meet that. Okay, I was kind of hoping maybe two, but it looks like we don't have any volunteers here, but we'll try to get an update as well on Norden for everyone, because I know folks are interested in what's going on with that as that kind of winds through some legal action. And I don't think that there's anything else pending except for our watchdog list. Oh, the other one on our watch list, by the way, too, is also, unless anyone has some information on this tonight, maybe for us, but we are still kind of in the dark on what could be happening with the Masonic Lodge at Gregory and Cemetery Street over there. So we're keeping an eye on that. If anyone has information that you want to share now, or if you're aware of any progress on what may be going on with that property, but don't want to speak here, you can email me offline. Okay, I don't see any other hands up. What I'll do then is we'll technically adjourn the meeting. I'm going to stop the recording, but I will stay on for a few minutes. So if there was someone who would like to address anything but not be recorded, or just bring something to my attention, I will stay on for a few minutes after I adjourn. So the meeting is now adjourned for our November meeting.